Hello there. I know you wanted to learn about diffusion and osmosis. But before that, you need to know something about concentration. And to understand concentration, we need some salt and water. First, what is concentration? Concentration is the measure of one particular substance in a solution. Not very clear, right? That's why we have the salt and water. Let's take a beaker full of water and add a few spoons of salt to it. Now this here is a solution. There are two substances in this solution. One is the salt and other is the water. We earlier saw that the concentration is the measure of one particular substance that is found in a solution. So the measure of salt present in the solution is the salt concentration. And the measure of the water present in it is the water concentration. As simple as that. Okay, now that you have an idea of what concentration is, let's understand diffusion. We are going to take another beaker, fill it with water. This time we are going to add colored salt. Notice that I am adding it to one end of the beaker. In some time, it slowly starts to move, and after a while, you can see that it is spread throughout the beaker. This means that the salt, which was initially at the higher concentration at one end of the beaker, slowly started to move to the other end, where it was present in lower concentration. This movement of substances from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration is called diffusion. Usually, gaseous exchange across the cell membrane takes place by diffusion. You can also see diffusion happening around you every day, like when the delicious aroma of food spreads from the kitchen. But before you run into the dining room, let's quickly discuss about one more concept, that is osmosis. Again, let's take a beaker and fill it with water. We are going to divide this beaker into two compartments by introducing a semi-permeable membrane. Let's name these compartments A and B. Water can move through the semi-permeable membrane. Therefore, free movement of water molecules occurs across the membrane. As of now, the water level inside both the compartments is the same. Now, let us add few spoons of colored salt to compartment A. The salt cannot move across the semi-permeable membrane and gets dissolved in A. Now that we have added salt only to compartment A, we can say that the salt concentration is high in compartment A and nil in B. Now, if you observe compartment A, out of all the water molecules, some are interacting with the salt molecules and the remaining water molecules are free. Whereas in compartment B, all the water molecules are free as there is no salt added. So we can say that the free water concentration is higher in compartment B than in A. And we know that compartment A has more salt concentration than B. Now, if I apply the same principle of diffusion, that is, molecules move from regions of higher concentration to lower concentration, how do you think the water will move? Will it be in the direction of A to B or B to A? Obviously, since a higher concentration of free water is in B, it would be from B to A. We use a special term for this type of movement of water. It is called osmosis. We can define osmosis as the movement of water molecules from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration across a semi-permeable membrane. Let's see how osmosis happens inside a cell. Let's say there is a cell surrounded by a solution which has a certain amount of salt X in it. As we know, the cell membrane is semi-permeable. So it cannot let in this salt X, but it can let in water molecules. How would the transfer take place according to the osmosis principle? Well, there are three possibilities. First possibility is if the water concentration in the surrounding salt solution is exactly the same as that inside the cell. In such cases, the surrounding salt solution is said to be isotonic. No movement of water will occur in this case. Second possibility is if the water concentration in the surrounding salt solution is more than that inside the cell. The salt solution in this case is said to be hypotonic. Here, the water rushes into the cell, causing the cell to swell. This movement of water into the cell is called endosmosis. The term endo means entry. The third possibility is that when the water concentration in the surrounding salt solution is less than that inside the cell. Here, the salt solution is said to be hypertonic. Therefore, water moves out of the cell, causing the cell to shrink. This movement of water out of the cell is called exosmosis. Exo means exit. Osmosis plays an essential role in living organisms. For instance, the absorption of water in plants by roots and the absorption of food in freshwater unicellular organisms like the amoeba happens due to osmosis. Now, let's quickly recap what we have learned. Concentration is the exact amount of one particular substance that is found in a solution. The movement of substances from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration is called diffusion. The gaseous exchange between the cell and environment takes place by diffusion. The movement of water molecules from higher water concentration to lower water concentration across a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. The cell, when placed in hypotonic solution, swells because of endosmosis. The cell, when placed in hypertonic solution, shrinks because of exosmosis. Osmosis helps the absorption of water in plants and absorption of food in freshwater unicellular organisms. I hope you have learned something new and interesting today. We will meet again very soon.